Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by and checking this video out. We have been pretty busy here at C&M Aquatics. We have started to develop several different dry good products, and this is one of them right here. This is a frag rack, a magnetic frag rack that hangs on your aquarium for frag plugs. And we wanted to develop a frag rack with a little more functionality. And to my knowledge, I haven't ever seen one quite like this on the market. So later on in the video I'll get into specific details on this frag rack, but first I wanted to show you guys its main function that we built in. So as you can see here, I have a bunch of euphyllias on this rack right now, and I did that just because they're a little heavier coral frag, you know, to test the magnets. So right here I'm showing just how easy it is to lift the tray off the backing plate. So this is nice because that plate and the magnets stay put in your aquarium, and you can take the frag rack out, you know, simple one-handed operation. You're not fumbling, messing with magnets popping off in the aquarium, hitting the floor. It's just super convenient to be able to lift the tray out. And not everybody may appreciate this as much, but if you do a lot of cleaning of your racks, or you do a lot of work with the coral fragging wise, it really does come in handy. So we'll get into the specifics. We have started making several different dry good products. We started making frag plugs, frag tiles. We started making several different types of frag racks, and that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about on this video today, is this magnetic hanging frag rack that C&M Aquatics has developed. So, starting out, I know it's kind of hard to see on this display I got here, but starting out, these racks are made from acrylic. They are sturdy, and we decided to do mainly clear acrylic on the hanging racks here, because it's the most aesthetically pleasing in the reef tank. It doesn't take away from the aquarium. There's a lot of frag racks I've seen that are just kind of an eyesore, you know, once they're in the aquarium. But with this rack, it blends in pretty well as long as you keep them cleaned. So you will get coralline algae growing, you know, across this, and detritus and different things. You got to keep your equipment clean. But what's nice about this, what makes this different from other racks on the market, is this plate that we've developed that stays in the aquarium. So it's attached by pretty much standard, you know, neodymium magnets. And this display simulates, you know, the glass on your aquarium. So what's cool is that right there. The shelf can be lifted out of the aquarium so that it can be cleaned. You know, if you're cutting corals, you can take them off the stand here and do whatever you got to do, and load the whole rack back with your corals, and it slides right back in over the plate and back into your aquarium, just like that. And it is sturdy. Like, this isn't going to float up on its own when it's in the water. I'll show you guys some excuse me, some racks that I have in one of the aquariums in the systems here I'm using. So another cool feature, oops, I don't break it, is this. We kind of figured out after cutting, so these racks are all laser cut on a laser machine, and they're super clean, smooth edges, pretty sharp looking. But out of the scrap that we get for each rack, we figured out that we could actually make a kind of like a kickstand. So, you know, you guys, like your phone cases, some of them will have kickstands. What's cool about this is, I don't know, let's go ahead and let's load this rack up. We'll load this rack up with some of our concrete plugs that we've been making. And here's some of the more traditional ceramic style plugs. We'll fill it up here. Just to show you guys that I know this is not underwater, obviously, and there's no coral on it, but it's a sturdy rack. I have the rack I'll show you guys I have in the BioCube out here is full of Euphilia, so bigger corals, and it stays in place. It doesn't shift, it doesn't move. So what I was saying is, let's say this is full of your corals and you got to do some cutting. Let's say you've got a bunch of acros on here and you have to do some cutting, some fragging. So what I've done in the past is, and you've seen these, I've made these egg crate stands, you know. They're super cheap, simple. That's what I use at the farm mainly, because I do work with a lot of corals. I can put my plugs on here, my corals, and they can sit out of the water, and I don't have to mess with them, you know, when I'm trying to glue them. It's just one less thing to hold. I have a place to put the frags. So to eliminate that, what's cool about this rack, and we figured out with this kickstand, is, say this is full of your corals, so we're going to lift the shelf right off the back plate, pull it out of the aquarium, come to our desk here. We're going to leave all the corals on here. We take our kickstand and just slide it in the front like that, and that's it. Hands free. All your corals are sitting here, and I don't have to, you know, be dropping them on the ground. They're not going to roll off. They're going to stay right here. So I can pick up a plug with a coral on it, come over here to my saw, I can cut, I can put it back. It's just, it turns it into kind of just like a nice little workstation, you know, and it's hands-free. It sits here. The stand doesn't add to the cost. We just kind of figured out that we could make them out of the scrap for each rack that we cut, and I thought that was a pretty cool feature. I've never seen a rack that, one, lifts out of the aquarium, leaves the magnets, because I don't know about you guys, but I get sick and tired of pulling a rack off, you lose the magnets on the outside, or part of the rack ends up floating in the aquarium. It's just nice to be able to pick up the whole tray off the back plate, and then to have this function to where I can set it here hands-free to work on things. And it's just as simple as like swapping out corals on this rack, you know. I can take those out, I can put new corals in. It just kind of streamlines the whole process, you know. There's not much to these magnetic frag racks and aquariums, but we're trying to figure out a way, you know, to add in a little more functionality, you know. Why would you buy this acrylic rack I make over, you know, 30 other ones on the market that do the exact same thing, that look the exact same way, you know what I mean? So our rack actually has a few different functions, you know, better functionality. It brings something to the game as far as, you know, frag racks are concerned. So I thought that was pretty cool. So we're done working, whatever. You can pull your leg off, slide your corals back in the aquarium, you're done. It doesn't get any easier than that, you know, for maintenance and cleaning and working with the corals. So the kickstand's included with these things. I believe we have enough to include two. If you don't like just one in the middle, you could put one on each side, and they're pretty sturdy. This rack's not going to just tip over, you know, sitting on the counter when you're working, just if you hit it or something. So there's that. One of the biggest questions I get, and not just with this rack, but with other racks on the market, you know, you have the suction cup option, which in my aquarium keeping hobby, career, whatever you want to call it, I never have much luck with those suction cups, whether they're on power heads or frag racks. Eventually they lose their suction and they fall off. So these neodymium magnets have been around in the Reef aquarium hobby for years now, and they have been used in tanks. And here's one of the issues with magnets. First off, I prefer them over the suction cups because they stay put, and you can even, you know, slide them around a little if you need to adjust without putting your hands in the aquarium, which is super nice. So all your power heads, most of them have gone to these magnets, and all the frag racks on the market have gone to these type of magnets. With that said, yes, functionality wise, they are much more convenient, much better to use, you know, for easy use purposes, but are they safe? I know a lot of people have questions about this, and the short answer are magnets, these magnets, Reef Aquarium safe? And the very fast short answer is no, absolutely not. There is no such thing as a safe magnet to go into a reef tank. I don't care what anybody tells you. Magnets leach toxins and chemicals into the water, and they kill corals. There's no debating that. There is no reef safe magnet. So how are these not killing, you know, all of our corals? Because now we have these magnets in our power heads, in our frag racks. They are in thousands and thousands of tanks now, you know, in the hobby. And it's because they're sealed. So if a magnet is properly sealed, it should not leach anything into the aquarium. And I have had several instances where I bought some cheaper frag racks, and I noticed that the magnets were not sealed completely, and they started to kind of rust, and you could see them just corroding and leaching things into the system. So, with that said, no, there is no reef safe magnet. It doesn't exist. You don't find magnets in the ocean in the wild. There's a reason for that. But if they are sealed properly, you can use them. So you can see through this plate here, and we start with neodymium magnets that are 100% epoxy coated. Okay, so that's the first coating. They are dipped and sealed in an epoxy resin that is safe once it is cured for your aquarium. 2, the second seal are these laser cut plastic caps that we developed to put the magnet into. That's your second layer of protection. So these are, a lot of people just use the epoxy coated magnets in their aquarium. The issue with that, I found, is if they just have a little scratch in the coating or something, they're going to corrode eventually, and they are going to leach, you know, toxic things you don't want in your system. So these are epoxy coated, first seal, and then they are sealed in these plastic caps that we developed. So there's a little bit of a fail-safe there. They are double sealed neodymium magnets. These are the ones that go into the aquarium, and these are the ones that are on the outside of the aquarium, and they are double sealed as well. These shouldn't go in to the aquarium, but people do goofy things all the time. So if these ended up in your aquarium, these are reef safe as well, as much as they can be. No such thing as a reef safe magnet. That's the point I'm trying to make. But they are double sealed, epoxy resin coated, and glued and sealed in these plastic housings that we developed for the magnets. That is as safe as you can make a magnet. It's got 2 layers of protection, double sealed. Most magnets I see on the market are just have a single seal. They're not epoxy coated and sealed in a casing. So I do feel confident that these are as safe as you can make them for a reef tank. And that goes with all of our products. You know, there's another video I did on the concrete plugs and tiles. I'm now using the concrete plugs and tiles at the farm here. I am using these frag racks with the sealed magnets we developed, and trust me, I would not be using these in my systems if they were killing corals, because I have thousands and thousands of dollars of stock. And if I wipe out a tank, you know, I could very easily lose $5,000 overnight, easily, you know, in Aquapora from putting a magnet in there that wasn't safe. So they have been tested. They have been used here at the farm. We have not had any issues with them leaching or pulling away from the aquariums or the walls. So we covered the removable frag tray. The magnets stay in place. They are double sealed epoxy coated magnets so that they don't leach chemicals into your system. The tabletop stand is included. This particular rack right here holds 11 frags, and it's aesthetically pleasing. And this rack will support when we offset and cut the holes for this rack, It will work with, you know, your 3/4 inch disc plugs, and it will work. There's enough room for your 1-inch plugs. And the other thing is, what's nice is this plate. Okay, so that part stays in the aquarium. If you had multiple frag racks, you know, if you had a spare one sitting out, you could just swap out plates, you know, for cleaning. You just pull this plate off, slide your other one in, load all your corals, and you're done. I know it's hard to kind of grasp it, you know, through a video and not hands-on and playing with it, but it really does make loading your frag rack and transferring corals in your aquarium that much easier. It sounds petty, I know, but it's as easy as that. It comes right off, and you're not messing with magnets and dropping them everywhere. And it really is a product that I'm proud of. I have never seen a frag rack with this much functionality, and it's something that I'm pretty excited about. I think people, once they get them and see them, get their hands on them, I think they're going to enjoy this rack. It just brings something to the game that's been missing with a frag rack. So I got nothing else to really say about it. I'm happy with them. Try one out for yourself, you know, see if you like it. If you don't, I'll take suggestions. We can redesign things, but I think it's a pretty solid magnetic hanging rack, and I'm very pleased with it. So I appreciate you guys for watching. I will in this video, I'll just show a couple clips, you know, of the racks in the BioCube where I'm growing all the bubble tip anemones and Euphyllia, and you guys can kind of see it in action. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments, and you can find these racks on the website for purchase. They are available now. So I appreciate it, guys. Until next time, happy reefing.